Hi all, welcome to the Marquee Matchups for the 10th of February. Apologies for having this up much later than usual, and I should have really had it up yesterday, but I kind of made a complete and utter muck up, and I should have saw it coming on Thursday due to the want to watch SBCs and other SBCs that were released last night. So if you can smash likes, be awesome. Sub to the channel if you're new. Follow me on Twitter at G is a Legend. All links are down below for playlists on the channel and social media links. I think we nailed 3 or 4 out of 4, which was quite impressive, and we did well. So Vienna Derby is the first route this week, and I actually really fancy this route. I'm probably going to say they'll do one player from both teams just due to it being quite a big derby, and I would assume they would also try and ensure that you could practically build a team that has both players in, because they're not really expensive just now, but they probably will go up in value quite considerably once the SBC goes live. When just now the team is relatively cheap. This costs about 2 to 4k depending on what route you go, and because pretty much every player is 150, and any of the rares from like Salzburg or whoever you want to throw in are about 250, 300. But very likely route, and I would say an all players pack or even like a jumbo silver players pack would be kind of a route they may go for. The Rotherham Huddersfield game I highly doubt will happen. I don't think they will. They'll go an EFL route I fancy this week, but where I do not know, but I think they'll probably stick with a Premier League route. Probably just one player from either team. They might go like a minimum silver players requirement, 67 overall rating, 3 out of 10 is a likelihood, but in terms of this, it's not very difficult, and it wouldn't be too difficult to build either. But as usual, we just have to of course cover this route. If this was to happen, it would be a silver players pack, but for me this is probably one of the least likely routes of the week, so keep this in mind, but still a route just to kind of cover your backs as usual in case they go for a sneaky route. Reading Brentford, for me, really unlikely. I covered this like early in the season and I think I had a slightly higher likelihood, but this week I would say it is very low down in terms of the likelihood. Still, both teams are playing pretty well in the league though, so it could happen. We've seen SBCs in the past where they just throw in 2 teams from a random league and everyone or whatever, and you say to yourself, why have they chosen this game? And it could have the same effect again. You don't think of the route and it suddenly comes up, and as long as you're prepared, that way you can say, well, at least I was prepared. So one player from either team is all you're going to need, and that would probably cover your backs. Luton Crawley, very unlikely to happen, but still could happen nonetheless. Both teams aren't, Luton's doing okay in the league, Crawley not so much, but still one player from either team, 11 from the league. Nations, you might get like 4 or 5 if they were to kind of make a nation requirement. 60 overall seems to just be, if they always, when they've done EFL routes from League 2, they always seem to be a big fan of 60 rating as a minimum rating, and honestly it isn't exactly hard, and a lot of people generally do tend to put in a lot of low rated bronzes and then throw in a few silvers just to kind of make it happen, and it seems to be a lot cheaper that way, I've noticed as well. But 2 to 3k would be all you're spending if this was to happen, but 2 out of 10, maybe even 1 if it came to it, so not a likely route. Stevenage Wickham, very low rated opportunity as well, but still both teams in the league. Wickham are one of the form teams in the league, so that could happen, and I believe Wickham have actually been in an SBC, so I highly doubt as a result this might happen. But Stevenage are kind of like low in the league, but Wickham are kind of, I think they've only lost like 1 game, and the 1 game they've lost was the Tottenham game. But for me, not likely to happen, but as usual I have prepared my back for it in case they may go a sneaky route. And I would say with all these routes, an all players pack is what you're going to kind of maybe expect. It keeps the reward quite minimal and your spend quite minimal, and you kind of get the same return. I've noticed Colchester Crawley just as unlikely as well. Obviously one's a midweek game and one's I think it's a Monday game, I think it's a Thursday and a Monday, I think, if I remember right first times. But if these routes happen, you're probably expecting like 7 players from England, which would make it not too difficult, and from there you're kind of looking, as usual, 60 overall. You're only going to need 1 player from either team, it wouldn't make it too difficult. I've thrown in 3 silvers just to kind of do it and give it a little higher overall just to kind of cover my back at 63, but I know I could easily just bump it down to 60 if it wanted to be, because I could take out McCormick, who's pretty high rated for the league and he's kind of like the best goalkeeper. So 2 out of 10 for likelihood. Then Liverpool Spurs, we're back into the more likely territories. 6 or 7 out of 10, maybe even an 8. Liverpool are just starting to really lose a bit of form, and Spurs are just kind of kicking on a little bit. They're still fighting for these top 4. This is a top 4 battle. You're probably going to need 1 player from our team, 11 from the league. Rare players, I'm going to say 5 or 6 rare players you're probably going to need. Maybe even 7 is a possibility. 79 overall, maybe even 80 overall for if they do a ratings requirement. Current cost for this is around 5 to 7k, so it's not exactly expensive, and I'm going to say the reward could actually benefit, just be slightly paying out more, so like 6 to 8k, but 7 or 8, between 6 to 8 out of 10. Here's an odd route for you, is Lechia Gdańsk versus Jagiellonia in Poland. For the research I've done, this is like I think it's like the cities, like 3 or 4 of the teams from like different cities are deemed like it's like derbies or something, I believe. I tried to nail the research spot on to what it goes by, and this could be a very likely sneaky route, depending on where they go, because they could go like Vienna, they could go here in Poland, they could go an EPL route, and they could go like Italy or Germany for final route. But in terms of this, probably 1 player from either team, maybe even one exactly, so you've got 1 Lecce, 1 Jagiellonia, 11 from the league, 6 nations minimum, 67 overall rating would be fair, but I'm going to give 5 to 6 out of likelihood. Bayern Ingolstadt is a Bavarian derby, and I would say this is a very likely route, mainly because Ingolstadt recently beat Leipzig, and Bayern gave like so much like beer and like sausages and everything to Ingolstadt as a thank you. And as a result, if EA tap into this, but also just because this is a Bavarian derby, I would kind of say this is a very likely route. I've seen 6 out of 10 on this just now, but it could easily be a 7 or 8. This is one of my routes that I'm preparing for. So, as I said, 1 player from either team, 11 from the league, 70 overall, and 5 or 7k for the cost. But you're well and truly covered, and I fancy this route very likely. And my last route of the week is Lazio versus AC Milan. In terms of this, I would say probably looking at about 6 rare players, 78 overall, 1 player from both teams, 11 from the league, 5 to 7k for a cost, 4 to 6k is your reward. You might get like a jumbo gold pack or a 15k packs or a 25k pack. It's hard to 100% say, but 5 out of 10 for likelihood. The reason why it's a slightly less likelihood is due to this being a Monday night game. I think if this was a Saturday, I would probably say more 7 or 8 out of 10. But I think because it's a Monday game, I'm a bit unsure, because I think they seem to have a bit more interest on Saturdays or any Sunday games. But all in all, I feel this is well prepared. As I said, remember to leave your predictions down as well for the monthly predictions for the giveaway. So leave those down in the comments down below as always. So hopefully you got done well last week, so take it easy off. Thanks for watching. Remember to smash the like, sub to the channel if you're new, follow me on Twitter at GSLegend, and I will catch you tomorrow for the no risk trade method.